Wow, it's here. Football Manager 2020. The beta has come out today on Halloween, and quite frankly, I am over the bloody moon about this. So hello for the very first time in Football Manager 2020. If you're new around here, my name's Tom, and I make Football Manager videos, hence the wonderfully creative name TomFM. So we're now here in the beta, the brand new game, and it's pretty exciting. You can see here, this is a brand new screen, which we'll go over more in a second. But you can see here that we're going to be taking over Manchester United for the duration of the Football Manager 2020 beta. So because the game is currently in beta, that means it's essentially still in testing phase. It's not a properly fully fledged game yet. There's still things that could go wrong. There's a few things subject to change, but it is a fully playable game now, which you can get, buy and download. There's a link in the description which will take you to the very cheapest place that you can get Football Manager 2020 now and start playing the game like I am right now. The link will take you to 2Game, who I am affiliated with, so if you use that link, I get a bit of commission from it, basically, that's what it means. Then you get the game for very, very cheap, and if you use the promo code TomFM at the checkout, you get an extra 10% off, so you get the whole game for less than £30. I get a little bit of commission from it as well. It's a win-win situation because you're playing Football Manager, I'm playing Football Manager, you love to see it. So as soon as you finish watching this video, make sure you click the link, go and get it yourself, and get playing. So as you can see, we are now sat in the Manchester United boardroom, which is very exciting. And this is a very new story. We've got a news article here saying that Man United has today confirmed the appointment of Tom as the club's new manager. Apparently, I'm also on 130k per week. And you know what? I'll take that, I think. I would have done it for 120, but 130, yeah, okay, I'll accept that. So wonderful stuff. We're going to be with Manchester United for the next... Well, originally the plan was going to be one season in the beta, but the beta's dropped early. We've now got 2.5 weeks of the beta until the full game is out. So I think maybe we'll stretch to 2 seasons with Manchester United as we go on the quest to try and win the Premier League. So a little bit of a club background. I'm sure many of you are aware that Manchester United have won the Premier League the most amount of times out of any club that's ever taken part in the Premier League as it is in its current stage. Obviously had a bad few years under a few managers since, of course, Sir Alex Ferguson left the club. So hopefully we're going to turn things around and win them their first title since Alex Ferguson left the club. Big fan of this screen that's just come up as well. Coaching staff have compiled a brief overview of the current Man United squad, best 11, transfer obligations, loan obligations, so a lot of players out on loan, including Chris Smalling and Sanchez, who I think, well, especially Sanchez should be very good in Football Manager. So I'm tempted to recall him and get him back into the side. Obviously, Man United fans in real life, probably not so keen on that themselves, but I'd rather have him playing in the attacking midfield than Jesse Lingard. Now, this is the first big new feature in the game. This screen is the club vision screen. So this is what the board have come to me and they said, this is how we expect you to be performing and what we expect you to do. So they want me to play entertaining football. That's a desired characteristic of the way we play football. But they want me to develop players using the club's youth system. Now, that is required. We can't negotiate on that, I don't think. That is pretty much set in stone. Unfortunately, we're going to be United during the beta for 2 seasons, so we probably won't be focusing on this too much. But when we finish the beta, we're moving to another save with Grasshoppers in Switzerland, and youth development is going to be a massive part of that. So we will have youth development, just not so much with Manchester United over the next 2 weeks or so. So now in the game, you've got ongoing 5-year plans that you have to work towards, which is very interesting. I think it's a great new addition and really focuses your mind as to how to play Football Manager. So here it says increase commercial revenue. Now, personally, I don't quite know how to do this. There must be some new things in the game that sort of gear you towards increasing commercial revenue. That's required as well. I can't negotiate on that. So that's going to be very interesting. I suppose as part of that, maintaining the club status as the biggest team in the world and most reputable in England goes towards that commercial revenue. So we've got to do some good performances in the league, Champions League, Europa League, whatever cup we're in. We've got to perform well to keep our status as these biggest clubs, basically. So we've got to do that, as well as working within the wage budget. Within that, you've also got the plan of what the club expects you to achieve within your performance as manager. So at the end of the current season, at the end of season 1, we need to qualify for the Champions League. Now, that is required. That's what they want. If we don't get that, I'm probably going to get sacked. Other goals out there for us are to reach the semi-final of the FA Cup and reach the final of the Europa League, which is quite a tall order, actually. Hopefully we'll go on and win it, but that is, it takes a lot to get there. And they're not desired or required. They are preferred, though. So we have to put a bit of detail and attention into that. But we probably won't get sacked if we don't meet those requirements. But if we don't get Champions League qualification, probably will get sacked. Going on from that into season 2, they expect us to work towards winning the Premier League title, challenging for it the season after that, and in the 4th season, if we're going to continue that long, it'll be win the Premier League. So this is kind of what you can expect now from Football Manager. Gives you a bit of a detailed plan of what they want you to achieve, and if you don't get that, you're sacked. So I quite like that. That's quite a new aspect to the game, and I'm looking forward to using that. And here we are, we're now properly in the game. The first look at the new screens, and you can also see that my manager avatar is bloody scary again. Like, that is terrifying. I used the photo thing, and the photo thing didn't go so well. I mean, I didn't use the best lighting, or the best angle, or the best photo, but that's what it's come up with. And quite frankly, that is absolutely terrifying. Now, tactics. We're not going to talk about tactics today. We'll talk about tactics in tomorrow's episode instead. Today's episode is all about getting used to the squad and the new game. Tomorrow we'll look at tactics and actually playing some games and things like that. We also have a meeting to discuss Club Vision. Now, apparently we can negotiate some of this stuff. However, I am happy to accept it. But we'll click negotiate anyway to sort of see what we can include or not include in there. So from what I've seen from Club Vision, I don't think there's anything we can negotiate this season. It also says up there to be negotiated later, so we can't negotiate things for this season just yet. But for next season, I would like to say win the Premier League, but because that's already a challenge further down set by the board in the end of the 4th season, if we're going to go that far, we can't select that. So I'm going to say win silverware. I want to win silverware next season. That's what I'm going to suggest. Add in there. The board are happy with that, so we're going to confirm that. We've added win silverware into next season's, or the 2 seasons in a time in future. You know what I'm trying to say. Now we can make amendments to this season, so we can't change to qualify for the Champions League. We've got to be there. Should we say let's win the Europa League this season? We could get sacked if we don't do it, but I'm going to say let's go and win it. So we're upping the ante here, making a few changes, being a bit more ambitious. Can we pull it off? I'm not too sure. Now, this new Club Vision thing has inspired me personally to have a TomFM channel vision, which is, well, it's ambitious to say the least. So my plan was to actually release a video this coming weekend explaining it all. However, the beta's dropped today on Thursday, so that's kind of scuppered those plans. So I'll talk to you about it very briefly right now. But essentially, the channel right now, TomFM channel, it sits on 12.5 or just under 12.5 thousand subscribers, which is a lot of people. However, I want to get to 20,000 subscribers. And I want to do that by the 1st of January 2020. Now, I know you're laughing because that's a lot of subscribers to get in a short amount of time. But with your help, I think we can really do it as a bit of a community project. So the plan is basically, I'm going to be giving away a copy of Football Manager 2020 at every single 1,000 milestone we reach. Starting at 13,000, up to 14,000, 15,000, so on, so on. A copy of Football Manager will be given away. The way I'm sort of hoping to do this is with your help, basically. I need your help to do it. And so if you think you've got a friend that would enjoy this kind of content, send it to them. Tell them to subscribe, and hopefully they will. And then if they do it with their friends as well, we sort of start to build a network like that. And I think that is something that we can really work towards as a community. The more people that subscribe, the more copies of Football Manager I give away, the more chances you have to win a copy of Football Manager. So it's a win-win situation for everyone. So if you want to get involved with that, with the, I mean, it's, what is it, 20k by 2020, which would probably look awful in writing, but sounds kind of cool to say. That's the kind of project I'm going on right now. So if you want to help me out, that would be massively appreciated. So send this to some friends, get them involved, and hopefully we'll get 20,000 subscribers by 2020. So now on to the interesting part, transfer budget. £103 million, which is pretty good. We've also got another £400,000 spare in the wage budget by the looks of things. We're currently spending 3.2 million. We've got 3.6 million. So we've got about £400,000 to spend on wages as well. The plan is to try and get in some transfers. We want to get some decent players in. And I know that Manchester United over summer were linked with some decent players such as Bruno Fernandes and Paulo Dybala, for example. My aim is to try and get those people to sign. Of course, when they inevitably say no, like they did in real life, I'm going to try and sign some other players. I want to try and strengthen the United squad, particularly at centre-back, particularly in centre midfield. And I think then we should have a squad good enough to challenge for the upper echelons of the Champions League, kind of qualifying, get to the final, maybe win the Europa League as well. That's kind of what I'm hoping for. In order to secure those players, though, we might have to sell a few players. So if we look at the squad and look at general info, look at the value of some of these players. I mean, Paul Pogba, £67 million he's valued at. A lot of Man United fans don't want him at the club. maybe he's a player that we look to sell if an offer comes in for him. Players like Fred as well. Fred, I mean, has he actually played for Man United properly? I mean, how many appearances has he got? He got 17 last season. That's more than I thought, but he's not quite the player I thought Man United probably thought he was. So potentially Fred is a player that would go and he'd be replaced by a better centre midfielder coming in. Ashley Young. I mean, quite frankly, can we just offer mutual termination right now? I mean, what's happened here then? He doesn't want to terminate his contract. Kind of understandable, I suppose. I mean, how much is he on? 120k per week. I can understand why he wouldn't want to terminate his contract. The offer was there though, mate. The offer was there. You're not going to play a game this season, but the offer was there. So then, my plan is to go through pre-season, and then I will meet you back for the Brighton game, the first game of the season. We'll go through some transfers, hopefully thrash Brighton, and start to look at some of these other new features that have been brought into the game. So let me know in the comment section which new features you are most excited about, and then I can sort of tailor the content around that a little bit. We can try and look at some of these new features in a bit more depth, the ones that you like the most, that is. And also let me know which team you're going to be managing first in Football Manager 2020, and let me know how you get on with that through the future comment sections in future videos. I'm interested to hear what you guys are doing in Football Manager as well, and how you're getting on also. So this is exciting. Football Manager 2020 is finally here. And I'm not that offended by the purple this year, because in previous years when it's been purple, I just change it straight away. But this year, I don't really mind that purple too much. Give it a week and I'll probably change it back to the usual dark setting anyway, but it's not too offensive. So before we bring the video to its conclusion, I just want to say thank you ever so much for your support in FM19. I hope you can continue it in FM20. Make sure to drop a like on the video for me. Subscribe if you're new around here. Share this with your friends as well to get involved with all the giveaways for Football Manager 2020. More of that will come out in the next few days as well, as I get a little bit more organised, because the beta's caught me off guard a little bit. But thank you for your support. I look forward to seeing you all in the next video. Have a good evening. Goodbye.